Hi, everybody. Welcome to Spa Babies. Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo. In this edition, we're going to discuss race number 6 at the Spa on Thursday, July the 20th. Wide open race. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. A maiden special for 2-year-old fillies. And as we take a look at this field, you've got a little bit of everything. You've got many horses in here that sold overseas and have European turf pedigrees. You've got strong connections all over the place. This is what a Saratoga 2-year-old race should be.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, a lot of really fun pedigrees in here, a lot of European-based stallions who will try to give you the pertinent information on, some freshman stallions where we're trying to guess at this stage what we're going to see from them. It's a really fun race if you're a pedigree geek.
And we'll kick things off with the number 1, Pantaleo, going out for Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado. And this filly blazed a furlong in 9-4 in April. One of the reasons she sold for $230,000. There's a ton of turf in this pedigree. Tell us about this stallion, De Marchelier.
Well, he hasn't had a winner, but to be fair, there are limited turf opportunities for 2-year-olds in the first couple months of the season. Summer is when you really start to see many more of those in the condition books. He is a son of Dubawi and was one of the first sons of that international leading sire who has been a major presence at the Breeders' Cup in recent years to stand in the United States and standing at Claiborne Farm, which is a big vote of confidence for that stallion in the Kentucky out market with top outfits behind him. I'm going to expect his runners to be best at a mile and up around there, but some speed and precocity in that female family, certainly some speed for this horse who worked that fast furlong on a synthetic track at the Ocala sale in April. And Bill Mott has had some nice 2-year-old runners at this meet already.
The number 2 is Parade Ring, an Irish-bred daughter of Knight of Thunder. This one sold for $105,000 overseas as a yearling. This one is a half to a Group 3 stakes place turf sprinter, and a lot of turf and a lot of sprint and a lot of precocity on the bottom of the pedigree. The dam a half to the very smart Albert Einstein.
Yeah, and turf sprint ability on the top of the pedigree as well. Knight of Thunder, another son of Dubawi, this one standing for Darley Europe. He's a young stallion as well, but the sire of Highfield Princess, a really top-class turf sprinter who we saw at the Breeders' Cup last fall in his first crop.
Experience counts, and the number 3 Kodiak Wintergreen already has a race. We'll take a look at that 5/8 of a mile dash at Belmont. Kodiak Wintergreen took some money in this race, went off at 2-1, and I like the way she picked her way through in between horses to get up for second. It's not like this pace was very fast for 2-year-olds. They went the opening quarter in 23. I like that she's down on the inside and is unfazed by it. Good effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's from a barn where they tend to improve some experience. She's by Kodiak, a son of Danehill, a half-brother to Invincible Spirit. And he's a record-breaking sire of 2-year-olds over in Europe. He holds the record for the most 2-year-old winners in a single season. You'll know him here as the sire of good turf sprinter Campanelli.
Jose Ortiz up for Rusty Arnold, half to Glorious Empire, who I believe won the Sword Dancer at Saratoga. And Rusty Arnold does very well with turf sprinters, and as Nicole mentioned, does well with 2-year-olds, second-time starters on turf without Lasix. Our formulator fact, 5 for the last 11. With a $2.45 return on investment. La Morna is the number 4. Like the 1 San Pantaleo, this one is trained by Bill Mott. Louis Saez will take them out. This is a filly by Munnings, who sold for $320,000 as a yearling. The dam was a debut winner. She was a multiple stakes winner. Nice combination of speed over stamina in this pedigree.
Absolutely. And, you know, by Munnings, he's turned into one of those stallions where they really just do it all. He's just a racehorse sire, a fabulous female family of New York breds with some turf ability in there. The dam is by Freud, a leading New York sire on turf, obviously. And this is the other one in here for Bill Mott, who, you know, as we said, is coming out well with 2-year-olds in recent years here at Saratoga.
Right next door is another filly by Munnings. That's the 5 Impudence, and this filly goes out for trainer Fernando Abreu. Jose Lascano takes them out. She was mature enough to breeze 2 furlongs in March, and she went pretty quick. 21-3, sold for 125,000. Munnings 15% juvenile debut runners, 10% first turf. Family of Kentucky Derby winner Gopher Gin and Pleasant Tap. Lots of routing ability on the bottom, but I'm curious to see what the Welsh Clocker report has to say about this one. I kind of like that recent looking breeze.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to look at before going to the window on this one. Those Clocker reports with just a wealth of information, especially on these first-time starters. In contrast to the other Munnings filly in this race, this one has so much more dirt ability and stamina in her female family. And I'd like to see this one going a little bit longer. And without seeing this horse physically, looking at kind of the attributes that might say turf or dirt to you, just looking at the pedigree, the turf debut is a bit unusual to me. It's a tale of two Munnings here.
Trainer Chad Brown's up next with the 6, Dancing Nancy. Manny Franco is going to take them out. This one sold 3 times and sold up every time. $4,000 weanling, $25,000 yearling, 100 grander in March, and breezed real fast. A quarter of a mile in sub 21 second fashion. Some sprint ability as well in this pedigree. This one is by Golden Sense.
Yeah, Golden Sense has been a very versatile young stallion in the mold of his sire Into Mischief, was the first son to stud for that leading sire and helped to develop his reputation early on as a sire of sires. Again, a versatile stallion going to Vegas, a turf grade 1 winner on his resume. Another one where I'd like to go to the Clocker report. It looks like some very solid works for this filly preparing for debut.
The number 7, Raichu, made her career debut last month at Monmouth in a dirt race, showed brief speed that day before tiring. She's by Catholic Boy, who could do it all, win on dirt, win on turf, and there is some precocity and speed in this family.
Yeah, and you know, you look at the sire line, and two back, you have More Than Ready, an outstanding 2-year-old himself, an outstanding 2-year-old sire, the sire of champions on both dirt and turf. Catholic Boy, you know, really the emblem of his sire's versatility, winning the Belmont Derby, a grade 1 on turf, and the Traverse, a grade 1 on dirt. His runners could go either way. I will want them with some more distance, I think, in the future. Of course, Catholic Boy with those big 10 furlong wins. A really interesting note on this one. Catholic Boy recently got his first winner at Monmouth Park with a filly who was moving from dirt to turf in her second start. This filly ships in from Monmouth for Juanavilla, going dirt to turf in her second start.
Formulator fact for the trainer, Juan Avila. Past 46 months, you can get very specific in Formulator. 2-year-olds moving dirt to turf, 23% winners, 291 ROI. We'll move to the 8, Neom Beach. Joel Rosario aboard for the great Steve Asmussen, a daughter of Omaha Beach. And Omaha Beach, Nicole, has gotten off to a red hot start.
Yeah, he's got 4 winners already from his first crop, including that very good Pirate, very impressive on Saturday here at Saratoga. He's got stakes place fillies on both dirt and turf already. He's another stallion who really could go either way. By the Great Warfront, who of course is the sire of top-level horses on both dirt and turf. Omaha Beach, a grade 1 winner both sprinting and routing, and he turned in some nice maiden placings on turf himself before moving to dirt for the majority of his big races.
Some pretty eye-catching works at Keeneland for trainer Steve Asmussen. I would expect this filly to take some money. The 9 is Gem of a Performance. This filly is by Oscar Performance, and she's been working down at Fair Hill, and she's got some pedigree. I have to a juvenile grade 3 stakes place turf router named Joyful Heart. Oscar Performance does very well with first-time turf runners. I get a chance to see several of this filly's workouts down at Fair Hill, and I was very, very impressed. She outworked a horse named Tupi on June the 11th, and Tupi, I think, won off by the length of the stretch in her debut on dirt at Laurel.
Well, that's great to hear you say that, because that work tab definitely made me sit up and take notice. And Graham Motion is not usually who we think of as a debut sprint 2-year-old trainer, but he knows how to place his horses. And Oscar Performance has, really done very well with his 2-year-olds, this being his second crop of 2-year-olds.
From Asmussen to Motion to Cox, the 10 is Ever So Sweet. Brad Cox trains this one. This one sold for $144,000 overseed. What can you tell us about the stallion? Because there is plenty of sprint, turf, and precocity on the bottom of this pedigree.
Well, sprint turf precocity looks like what you're going to get from Calix. This being the first crop for him, he was unbeaten as a 2-year-old himself, including a win at Royal Ascot. Continued on to very good sprint performances at 3. From his first crop, this son of European Horse of the Year Kingman has already got a Group 2 winner in Persian Dream and a couple of group performers, including the runner-up in this year's Norfolk at Royal Ascot.
Flavian Pratt takes them out on Ever So Sweet. We've got one also eligible, Later Darling for Todd Pletcher. That horse breezed 54 out of the gate on the dirt. I'm not sure what that's about. Life's Joy, the 12, is entered for main track only. So top pick time. We are kicking off the late pick 5. I had a whale of a time coming up with a horse, and I have a bit of remorse that I didn't use your 9 Gem of Performance because I've been very impressed with her works.
Yeah, and the work tab is really what made the difference for me. And as you said, a wide open race where if you're playing that multi-race wager, I think you're going to have to go several horses deep to kick it off. The works to me say this horse is ready to run, and I think this is an outstanding pedigree on both sides for 2-year-old turf sprint ability.
I needed a price. I'm going to get it with the 7 Raichu, who's got the formulator fact, has some experience, has a little bit of speed. Boy, she's going to have him nailed on tight against some very strong pedigrees. Curious to see what we get also from the 5 Impudence. A little bit of dirt on the bottom of the pedigree, like that most recent workout. Parade ring of sort of the European bred horses for Tony Dutrow and Kendrick Carmouche. I think that one's going to show a little bit of speed. 9-1-6-3 for Nicole. 7-5-2-10 for me. What a skull buster. The Thursday Spa Babies race is the 6th. Best of luck.